magbigay ng may kapal. Tugon sa aking dasal upang sa lahat ng panahon.
God said, it is not good to be alone. Meaning to say that by nature, human beings should never be alone. Human beings are by nature social. And this idea became more popular in the 1960s when a Jewish philosopher converted to Christianity. His name was Martin Buber. And his philosophy was the I and thou relationship. Marilu is Marilu because of George. George is George because of Marilu. There is that relationship between them. So it is not enough that we are all human beings and are social by nature. We have to exercise that gift that God has given us, to look to the other and relate to the other. I remember when they came to Talugtug, Malaysia, and informed my parents that they were getting married. I was very happy then that they were making it meaningful, the word yes. Dag Hammarskjöld, the former Secretary General of the United Nations Organization, said, I don't know when and where I said yes, but the moment I said yes, then my life has had meaning. Those of you who belong to my age probably remember Dag Hammarskjöld. He was the Secretary General of the United Nations. He made the word yes meaningful to the rest of the world when he said, the time I said yes, life has had meaning. And 40 years ago, Marilu said yes to George, and George said yes to Marilu. Then their life has had meaning from then on until today. Relationship is very important. This relationship has to be developed by looking at each other as persons. Therefore, I like to borrow the idea of a German philosopher by the name of Georg Gadamer. He said, relationships are not enough. Relationships should be developed, should be cultivated. And through relationship, we share meaning, we share truth. There is the fusion of meaning and truth. In every relationship, there is the fusion of meaning. And so during these last 40 years, they were not only sharing each other's lives, they were also sharing each other's identity, subjectivity, meaning, and truth. George is George. Marilu is Marilu. For 40 years, that was the challenge for them, to develop that relationship and have the fusion of their own meanings and truth. And that is God's gift to them. In the process that they were having the fusion of meaning and identity, personhood, faith, love, and hope, they were cross-fertilizing each other, or they were enriching each other. Marilu is very rich because of George. George is very rich because of Marilu. It is not enough that we have a relationship. There has to be fusion of meaning of our relationship, and there has to be cross-fertilization, enrichment of this relationship. And I would like to add to the ideas of these great people whom I quoted. I'd like to add that the challenge to Marilu, to George, and to all of us is to share the best of ourselves. Life will have no meaning if it is kept for ourselves, because love, by virtue of its definition, has to be shared. St. Augustine said, love is not love if it is not shared with people, with other human beings, and with other forms of life. Love has to be shared, and love will have meaning only to the extent that it is being shared. Because in sharing love, we are sharing God's love for us with other people. So every time we say, I love you, every time George said, I love you, Marilu, and every time Marilu said, I love you, George, they were sharing God's love for each other. For love is a triangle. Their love for each other would not stand 40 years if God was not a member of that partnership. The foundation of that partnership, of that love, is God. Time flies. Marilu and George, like me, are getting older. They say, tempus fugit. Time flies. And what is now the next event that we have to take into consideration? First of all, let us remember the three great moments in every man's life. And these moments are birth, marriage, and death. As I grow older, and I suppose some of you too, the word mystery becomes very, very attractive to me. In the past, I said God is a creator. Later on, God is a father or a mother. Now, at this stage of my life, God is a mystery. I do not understand why God loves me. I do not understand why God loves you. I do not understand why Marilu loves George and George loves Marilu. Meaning to say, there is yet much to be known and revealed by the loving and mysterious God. We should all look forward to the many more years that God will give them. But at the end of time, there will be the reckoning. And that is when we meet death. And the most beautiful and meaningful life is one that is a life shared because of love. A love that is given to us by God to be shared with all. On a personal note, Marilu, congratulations. George, congratulations. I think you feel very happy tonight, today. I can imagine that. If only we could open your hearts and let these hearts say, I love you, George, I love you, Marilu, once again, then everybody will be clapping his or her hands. But because I could not do that, can we give them a round of applause?